This sheet you only have use for if you have a hydronic or water-based heating system. All the numbers you can see here is nothing that I filled in on this sheet. That's the result of what I have entered on the sheet apartment type and apartment. The only thing you really have to change on this sheet is the type of valve that you use. And in this house, the MMA FV10 is used. So I select that here in this cell. That also changed my presetting values for the radiator valves. Let's say you were out in this house now to make the adjustment of the radiator valve for apartment 1 and room 2 and set that radiator valve to 5 quarter turns. Then you discover that there are actually 2 radiators in this room. So what do you do then? Well, you can take a look here in this cell and you see that it's supposed to be 28.4 liters to the radiator in apartment number 1 and room 2. If you scroll back then and look at these 2 lines, you can see that 28 liters equals 5 quarter turns. And if you want to, let's say, give 50% of the flow to each radiator, if it was 2 in the room, then you just take 28 divided by 2, which is 14. And then you know that you're gonna set the radiator valves on both radiators at 3.75. In case you would have known that there were 2 radiators in this room before you actually got to the house, then you could have entered that on the sheet apartment type. Let's have a look at which type of apartment this is. Apartment type, okay, it's 1 gable. So here we see the apartment type 1 gable. So let's go to the place where you can set the distribution between different radiators in the same room. For room 2, press this distribution button that takes me more to the right in the same spreadsheet. So for example, you could have entered 50% to radiator 1 and 50% to radiator 2. If you would have wanted to give 30% to radiator 1 and 70% to number 2, you could have entered this instead. You can also, for 50%, for example, just enter 1 and 1 here, and that will be counted as 50-50. Go back to the sheet apartment adjustment. Now you can see that 3.75 has been inserted twice, because that's what you choose on the sheet apartment type, and that's the 14 liters per hour times 2 equals 28, like it was before if it only would have been 1 radiator in the room. If you don't want to show both these numbers in this cell, you can deselect this checkbox and the old presetting value will be shown, but red with 2 lines, because you want to see that there's something different here. You can still, though, if you have a printout of the table here to the right, you can still see all the presetting values on all the apartments that has this setting. Another way to show this before you do the printout, that would be to select this checkbox again and then just make this a little bigger so it fits into the same column. In case your valve that is on your radiators would not be in this list, well, then you can add your own radiator valves on this sheet. and it will be automatically populated into this list. That was all I wanted to show you from this sheet.